All right, good afternoon. We'll call this meeting of the Grand Rapids Civilian Appeals Board to order at 4:05 p.m. on today, June 15th, 2022. Ms. Claudia, will you please take roll?
Michelle Williams.
Present.
Russell Olmsted.
Here.
Sophia Brewer.
Here.
Brendan Arnold.
Here.
And Reginald Howard is not in today.
And for the record, he did indicate that he would not be present in today's meeting. The next thing on the agenda is the approval of the 5/18/22 meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Either way.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It carries. The next thing on the agenda is the board liaison report. So the only thing I have to report is that we did hear from a few other members of CAP regarding whether or not they would be continuing to serve. And Ms. Trudell did make the decision to complete her service with her term that ended. So everyone understands. She applied for a certain term, completed that term, and has made the decision not to reapply for another term. And we do appreciate her service and her contributions to the board. That does bring us now to a board of 5 individuals. And we have made the clerk's office aware of those resignations so that other appointments can be made. The other thing that I would report is that it is our intention to have a board recap training at the next Civilian Appeals Board meeting. It'll be similar to, for those who've served on the board before, it'll be similar to what was provided before. Our intent is to provide that same type of training each year, which is the overview of the general laws and rules that guide the board. And then we'll arrange more specific in-depth training for our new board members as they come on board. Given the fact that we anticipate additional board members coming on board, I don't want to schedule too soon, just in case we get new members over the next few weeks. And the last thing that I would add is that the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability is currently hiring. We are hiring for several positions. The first is a lead investigative specialist, which was formerly filled by Kristen Johnson, who got the job of a lifetime and is now the director of Oversight for all prisons in the state of Hawaii. So she is in Hawaii, living her best life. But so that position is now available. There are also justice analyst positions that are available. Those are new positions that are that are grant funded. Those are 3-year positions. Essentially, those positions will work to review policy, to help make recommendations for changes in that area, but they'll also do programming work as well. So those are full-time positions that kind of work in 2 areas. So they work in policy. They'll also work in programming around our restorative justice and some of our educational programs. In addition to that, we're hiring a full-time executive assistant. That position will be, is also posted now. We're hiring temporary staff for 2 additional positions. One of those is a community analyst, which is an engagement position. That position is designed to help with our community engagement around public safety generally, as well as more specifically around refugee and immigrant experiences. So that position is a temporary position, but it's a long-term temporary position. So it's a full-time position, but it'll be hired through a temporary agency. We'll also are hiring administrative support, given the expansion to OPA, that will also be a temporary position. So that is a total of 5 positions that we are hiring, that we hope to have hired at the top of next month. So those positions are up and available on the city's website for the temporary positions. Those are hired through MBS temporary agency, but that information is also on OPA's Facebook page and it's been sent out to community as well. So that is the extent of my update. If you all have any questions, I'd like to answer them at this time.
Will the July training be able to be hybrid?
Let me confer with the city attorney regarding that. We don't, because it is training, we don't have to do our trainings as a public meeting. However, we are not doing hybrid public meetings. So we could consider canceling the meeting if we don't have any other business and having a training in its place. So I'll talk with the deputy city attorney regarding that. Are there any other questions?
Could you tell us a little bit about the qualifications, so that, people that might be listening, the qualifications, just the minimum qualifications for some of these positions that you talked about?
Sure. So I do not have the job descriptions in front of me, but based off of memory, the lead investigative specialist position is a position that is designed to really work closely with the investigatory side of what OPA does. So that is auditing and monitoring the work of the Internal Affairs Division that's reviewing those types of cases and those types of policies. That position does require a bachelor's degree, and I believe an advanced degree is preferred for that. I would encourage those watching to review the job descriptions on the website, though. The justice analyst positions, again, they require or prefer a bachelor's degree level as well. But the idea behind those positions are primarily policy-based. So those are positions that will dig into policy in our police and fire departments, look for inequities, and look for ways to improve those policies in partnership with community and our city departments. In addition to that, they'll also work on programming work as well. So that's our Know Your Rights programs and some of the other community education that we've talked about. The administrative position, the executive assistant position, I don't believe there is a degree required for that position, but that position provides administrative support to the director of the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability, and will do complaint intake and also support the work of this board and others. The two temporary positions, the community analyst position is designed similarly to an analyst position, and therefore it will require or prefer a bachelor's level education, and the administrative aid position, the temporary one, does not require a degree either.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got a question. Regarding the GRPD manual procedures that you provided us last meeting, I'm wondering, is that something that is available to the public, or is it just an internal document?
The GRPD manual procedures is available online. Members of the public can find it by going to the city's webpage and typing in police manual procedures, or you can find your way to the police page and there's a listing with the manual procedures there. Are there any other questions? Okay. The next item of business is officer elections, and if you can give me 1 second. Okay, so the next piece is officer elections, and we did have the opportunity to discuss the positions that are available. Those positions, this board has two positions. So there's a board chair, and there is also a vice chair. Those positions are described in the board manual. But essentially, the board chair chairs the meetings and ensures that the business of the Civilian Appeals Board is handled effectively according to the rules that are laid out. That role has previously been held by Hugh Martin Robinson, who did an excellent job for several years. And the vice chair assists the chair and steps in when the chair is unavailable, and that role was previously held by John Weiss. We also appreciate his service. So at this time, we will accept nominations from the floor for board chair. And if there's discussion, feel free.
So I would like to nominate Russell Olmsted for board chair.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Thank you.
It's been moved and second that Russell Olmsted will serve as the board chair. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carries. I guess with that, the board chair can chair the meeting. So we just do the vice chair.
Yep. Yeah. So I guess any nominations from the floor for vice chair?
I would like to nominate Byron Arnold for vice chair. And I know I butchered his name, but sorry.
Yeah, you're going to have to teach us your name, sorry.
It's Brendan.
Brendan, okay. And second.
All right. Those in favor? Aye.
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 Those opposed? All right. Seeing none, it passes. We have Brandon Arnold, right? Did I say it properly? I'm sorry. As vice chair. There are no other officers for election for CAB, so that moves us along to the next business on the agenda, which is old business. Is there any old business to discuss that we have? Not having any open discussion that anybody has on the board about anything that we need to talk about for CAB. All right. Seeing none, we'll go on to public comment. And as there is no one here and we are not doing virtual public comment, I guess I have a question on that. Is that that's a city policy, correct? That's not something that, all right, so it's a city policy. So no public in attendance, so there is no public comment. And that moves us on to adjournment. So at 4:17, we are adjourned.